Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. The preservation of the sacred fire of liberty requires not only virtuous leaders, but an informed and vigilant populace. Government is instituted for the common good, for the protection, safety, prosperity, and happiness of the people. Power must never be trusted without a check. Let us tenderly and kindly cherish, therefore, the means of knowledge. Let us dare to read, think, speak, and write. Fear is the foundation of most governments. The happiness of society is the end of government. Liberty cannot be preserved without general knowledge among the people, a government of laws and not of men. There are two types of education. One should teach us how to make a living, and the other how to live. To be good and to do good is all we have to do. The science of government it is my duty to study, more than all other sciences. Public business, my son, must always be done by somebody. It will be done by somebody or another. If wise men decline it, others will not. If honest men refuse it, others will not. I must study politics and war, that my sons may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. The foundation of national morality must be laid in private families. The moment the idea is admitted into society that property is not as sacred as the laws of God, and that there is not a force of law and public justice to protect it, anarchy and tyranny commence. Liberty is not a reward for the good, or a prize for the obedient. It is an inalienable right. Great is the guilt of an unnecessary war. The Declaration of Independence is the declaratory charter of our rights and the rights of man. Democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. Our obligations to our country never cease but with our lives. It is more important that innocence be protected than it is that guilt be punished. To believe all men honest would be folly. To believe none so is something worse. Human nature itself is evermore an advocate for liberty. There is also in human nature a resentment of injury and indignation against wrong, a love of truth and a veneration of virtue. These amiable passions are the latent spark. If the people are capable of understanding, seeing and feeling the differences between true and false, right and wrong, virtue and vice, to what better principle can the friends of mankind apply than to the sense of this difference? A pen is certainly an excellent instrument to fix a man's attention and to inflame his ambition. We are to look upon our neighbors as ourselves and to consider that their rights as members of the Commonwealth are as dear as our own. The happiness of society is the end of government. The preservation of the means of knowledge among the lowest ranks is of more importance to the public than all the property of all the rich men in the country. Because power corrupts, society's demands for moral authority and character increase as the importance of the position increases. Government is instituted for the common good, for the protection, safety, prosperity, and happiness of the people, and not for profit, honor, or private interest of any one man, family, or class of men. Therefore, the people alone have an incontestable, unalienable, and indefeasible right to institute government, and to reform, alter, or totally change the same when their protection, safety, prosperity, and happiness require it. Children should be educated and instructed in the principles of freedom. The way to secure liberty is to place it in the people's hands, that is, to give them the power at all times to defend it in the legislature and in the courts of justice. The moment the idea is admitted into society that property is not as sacred as the laws of God, and that there is not a force of law and public justice to protect it, anarchy and tyranny commence. Public virtue cannot exist in a nation without private, and public virtue is the only foundation of republics. The dignity and stability of government in all its branches, the morals of the people, and every blessing of society depends so much upon an upright and skillful administration of justice, that the judicial power, ought to be distinct from both the legislative and executive, and independent upon both, that so it may be a check upon both, and both should be checks upon that. To suppose arms in the hands of citizens, to be used at individual discretion, except in private self-defense, or by partial orders of towns, countries, or districts of a state, is to demolish every constitution and lay the laws prostrate, so that liberty can be enjoyed by no man. It is a dissolution of the government. The fundamental law of the militia is that it be created, directed, and commanded by the laws, and ever for the support of the laws. Government is intended to suppress injustice, malice, and violence among the citizens, to punish the wicked, to defend the good, and to secure to everyone his own rights.